It's time to rev and ride Mike's Full Throttle Garage on 94.3 WSC.
Welcome to Mike's Full Throttle Garage, where we pull up a couple of stools and talk about the world of motorcycling and the people who are part of it. Keep the garage door open, because it's a little sweaty in here, because we got two guys that have been riding for a long time. Welcome back to the show, Alan James and James Gregory. You guys just participated in the Run for the Wall. You've got to have plenty of stories to share. Yeah, where do you start, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Let's start with you, Alan. All right, you just returned from the Run for the Wall. You have been riding for how many days?
This 22 days.
22
days on a motorcycle. Only thing I had. Yep.
Okay. All right. And you rode first from Charleston all the way out to California, where this run starts.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And you met, about how many brothers?
About 1,200.
About 1,200 brothers just happened to all get together in California. Where in California?
Rancho Cucamonga, which is right there by Pomona, Ontario, that area.
Okay.
San Bernardino.
All right, so you guys all met together, all with a common goal. Let's share a little bit about that common goal, James. The Run for the Wall. Why did you start this?
Well, Run for the Wall, it's interesting because I participated in the Los Angeles Welcome Home to Vietnam Veterans Parade in 1986. I was the only guy on a motorcycle. I was the only biker. I was still an active duty drill instructor. And I'm looking around and going, wow, this is a lot. The first time I've ever been to a Welcome Home Parade. And it was also the first time I'd seen the moving wall, the one-third reproduction of the wall. And I said, wow. And I have friends on that wall. I served in 69-70 with the Marine Corps, and then I was part of the last battle of the war, the Mike was rescue in May 15th, 1975. And so my squad leader from Vietnam was there. He was walking from Los Angeles to Port Angeles, Washington, his home state, carrying a POW flag. And he says, we still have POWs missing. I go, no, we don't. The president, the Congress, they all say they're all come home. He says, no, I'm telling you, tomorrow morning I'm going to introduce you to family members. I went to a breakfast, listened to a lady named Marion Shelton, and she enlisted me in her army of supporters to find out what happened to her husband and over 2,500 prisoners of war missing in action just from Vietnam. And it turned my life around. And she kept asking me, you're a motorcyclist, what can the bikers do, you know? And about that time, I started thinking about it. And then I got a letter from these guys called Rolling Thunder. And Ray Manzo, another Marine machine gunner, asked me, as a biker, a motorcycle enthusiast in California and a leader of the group, would you mind coming to Washington and join us in Rolling Thunder? And I asked around in '88, and when the first Rolling Thunder, and everybody said, "That's crazy! You don't ride across country." A bunch of non-vets.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? PTSD. They got to take their medication 4 times a day. They're all crippled up and scarred. But we did in 1989. Myself and Bill Evans would also help me out, and a couple other guys. We came across country. Probably only had 25 all the way bikers, but we probably had 100 to 150 from San Diego at that time to Las Vegas. Then everybody broke away. Then we picked up numbers, and once we got on this side of the Mississippi River, our numbers started getting strong. We probably had 150 that pulled into Washington on the first Run for the Wall.
It's got to gather steam as you're going. I mean, a group hears about it, and you're in their home state. They want to join.
Absolutely. And the strangest thing, now you have to understand, this is the days before cell phone and computers. I had no internet. I had, literally I would be in a service station searching for a few quarters and a phone somewhere hanging on a wall to call the next area and go, hey, you guys promised us, some food, some gas. Every single group not only did what they promised, they gave us more. And there were a lot of instances in that run where things just came together by accident. One of those, the most famous, is in West Virginia. They would not let us pay for the toll on the West Virginia toll pike in advance. A guy met me. We were standing in rain at a truck stop, and he says, every motorcyclist will pay individually at every toll booth. And I looked at him, and a Medal of Honor recipient, Gary Wetzel, was standing beside me. We pulled out a map, and I said, look, I'm not going in the rain and pay a toll, so we're going up this free road, Highway 60. And this little town called Raynell, we never even heard of it before. We come off the mountains, and here's the police chief had heard about us and issued flags to the school, and all the school kids were in the middle of the street waiting on us.
Oh, my.
24 years later, this year when I was in Rennell, we had over 1,000 bikers still with those school children, not talking to the school kids. Talking to the school kids of the school kids we talked to 24 years ago. And one young lady brought me a T-shirt that I had signed back in 1990 with several of the riders' names on there. And that's just one incident. Across country, I know AJ has his favorite schools. We talk to schools, veteran hospitals, veterans groups. All of them are, I mean, it's a big family reunion year after year.
That's amazing. A family tradition
Absolutely.
at a small town.
Yeah.
They did it as children. They know you're coming again.
This is the biggest event this side of West Virginia has. Coal mining, not a very wealthy community. We have now donated thousands of dollars to their school. We have adopted them. They have adopted us. And this is a huge deal for this community.
Do they have veterans in their town?
West Virginia actually, per capita, has more veterans in the Vietnam War than any other state.
Oh, my.
And they lost more veterans per capita than any other state. So, yes, they have. Let's just face it. If you're a coal miner's kid, you got two choices, the military or being a coal miner. And a lot of them are patriots, and they came together, and a lot of them joined the military.
And I bet there was a positive outlook at it because of you guys. You guys come in with this brotherhood, bikers, large presence comes through this small little town, and this kid grows up going, I want to be a part of that. I want to uplift the military.
I cannot explain to anyone the feeling it is to come off the side of a mountain and see hundreds of school children flying the American POW flag. The police department is always there in support. The fire department has the flags across the road. Things that now, frankly, we're taking almost for granted with the homecoming that our current veterans are getting. Mm-hmm. But remember, in Vietnam, we came home. We didn't get a welcome. In fact, quite the opposite. And now for this little town, still doing this after they feed us, the school does. They feed us all weekend. It's just an amazing thing. And I welcome anyone to be in Rennell, West Virginia, 12 noon the Thursday before Memorial Day and get a homecoming they may never get like this ever again.
And that's true. You don't have to be a biker to enjoy this and be a part of it. You can support this Run to the Wall. You can help out, volunteer, because it's all volunteers.
Absolutely.
And you can make this a part of your way of welcoming home and being what I like about your run is in your description. This is your kind of parade for your veterans.
It is. As I told Alan more than once, I said, we ought to change this run to the Trail of Tears because you start crying on the first day because the folks are over the overpasses. For the first time, I had police officers in their cars pulled over on the side of the road saluting us.
Oh, my.
You have the entire police department. We have more motor cops in Louisiana than we got riders. It's a big competition among the different communities to ride. We had over a dozen helicopters, and then we get to the Harley-Davidson dealer in Jackson, Mississippi, and I can't even describe it. I guess what I have to do is say, go to RFTW.org and look at the videotapes, or just Google Run for the Wall, and you will see something that you're going to have to participate. And I know a lot of guys are saying, I've been putting this off. Guys and gals, get out there. You don't have to ride.